Bermuda Triangle is one of the places where many theorists and skeptics have set their sights to explain each of the events recorded in this place. Have you ever wondered what is true about it? What has happened to attract so much attention? Here we will explain each of the questions, facts, theories and counter-theories so that you can draw your own conclusions. Throughout history, sudden disappearances have occurred without a trace of the crews of ships and airplanes that have simply vanished when trying to pass through this mysterious area. For example, you will learn about the mysteries surrounding the disappearance of the pilots of the famous Flight 19 and the USS Cyclops ships of up to 10,000 tons, so large that the facts still remain unanswered, as if they were wiped off the map and never existed. Some experts try to give a cause to it all, either paranormal or scientific. But don't worry, here you can learn both sides of the Bermuda Triangle, secrets and truths. One of the earliest recorded incidents of mankind is when Christopher Columbus was making his first voyage to the New World, and he tells of a great flame of fire falling into the ocean, and subsequently a mysterious light appears weeks later. Columbus also reports in his writings about erratic compass readings. Another of the famous quotes about the Bermuda Triangle is manifested in the play The Tempest by William Shakespeare in the 20th century, based on a shipwreck that occurred in this area. At that time, the report did not draw attention to the mysterious disappearances, but it is recorded as a part of one of the occurrences of this strange place. After this event, several of the boats that wanted to cross the Bermuda Triangle simply disappeared or appeared without crew. Is that not terrifying? In March 1918, another inexplicable event occurred when a US Navy freighter, USS Cyclops, so large and with a crew of 300 and a cargo so heavy that it exceeded 10,000 tons of manganese ore on board, sank between Barbados and the Chesapeake Bay. Although fully equipped to call for help, the vessel never sent out a distress call. It simply disappeared. In fact, after recurring searches, no sign of the ship was ever found. The President of the United States at the time, Woodrow Wilson, quoted the following words: "Only God and the sea know what happened to the great ship." In December 1945, without much explanation, the US Navy pilots who were flying in the area disappeared without explanation. The bombers were performing maneuvers with 14 men, who took off, but their compasses inexplicably stopped working and they were lost. The leader of the mission was known as Flight 19. Later, when a rescue plane was sent with a crew of 13 people, it disappeared without trace. Even though other massive searches were carried out, the report after the event stated, as if they had flown to Mars. There is also talk of the passenger of 3 planes who inexplicably crashed, even when they sent messages saying that everything was fine. This event was cited by author Vincent Gaddis in an article where he states the name of the Bermuda Triangle in 1964. To this day, there is still no trace of what happened to them, one of the great unsolved mysteries. The Bermuda Triangle theories took off with Charles Berlitz in 1974 with a bestseller. From that point on, other colleagues and paranormal fact writers attribute explanations of aliens and sea monsters, time distortions and anomalies in the gravity field to it. In addition, scientific theorists point to anomalies related to phenomena such as water spouts, methane gas eruptions and magnetism from the ocean floor. All of the above is a weight to the Bermuda Triangle and its mysteries. It is important to mention that, although there are affirmations, many writers exaggerated their writings or theories, casting doubt on some concepts. In fact, Larry Kirsch in 1975, author of the Bermuda Triangle Mystery Solved, explains that there is a lack of inconsistency in various accounts, eyewitnesses, participants and others in the incident that started the Bermuda Triangle story. For example, he talks about the event of the disappearance of the navigator Donald Crowhurst, presented by Berlist as one of the mysterious cases, where evidence of the case was shown. In addition, the case of the ore carrier, missing for 3 days, was another mystery that was actually lost outside her harbor. Kush based his criteria on a thorough review of the dates of each occurrence, reported in sources such as newspapers and reports, which coincided with relevant weather events. What could be the cause of the disappearances, and were never named in the stories, concluding the following. The number of reported missing ships and aircraft in the Bermuda Triangle is not significantly higher than disappearances in other parts of the ocean. Being an area with very frequent tropical cyclones, the disappearances that have occurred are neither improbable nor mysterious. The number of missing aircraft or ships are exaggerated due to sloppy investigations, as late returns to port are not reported, leaving the true story incomplete. Some disappearances never happened. For example, the 1937 plane crash in Daytona Beach, Florida, with hundreds of witnesses watching, local newspapers did not show any accounts of this event. In fact, he points out that the Bermuda Triangle legend is, in reality, a mystery reinforced and perpetuated by writers who have provided erroneous theories, sensationalism, drama, and unconvincing reasoning. Moreover, a 2013 study by the World Wildlife Fund identifies the 10 most dangerous waters in the world for shipping. However, this segment does not include the Bermuda Triangle. So, if so, is the Bermuda Triangle a self-made mystery? Today, thanks to the events and writings that have occurred over time, the Bermuda Triangle is an enigma to many people who seek to give a why or how to each incident that has occurred over time. Here, you will be able to see each concept or explanatory approach. Supernatural theories. Many writers fix their sights on the possibility of the mythical continent of Atlantis, attributing technology as the cause of the unexplained events. Imagine a continent submerged in the ocean, a rock formation called Bimini World, discovered in 1968, off the island of Bimini in the Bahamas. The psychic Edgar Cayce predicted its discovery, and believers see the rock formation as a path of some structure to the city of Atlantis. In addition, other writers attribute the anomalies to the presence of extraterrestrials. Author Charles Berlist describes several theories due to the anomalous and unexplained phenomena related to it. Let's see the scientific theories. One of the theories commonly cited in accounts of the Bermuda Triangle is the problems navigators have had with compasses. This case is attributed to anomalies caused by magnetic variations. It has been shown that in the few places the compass magnetic north and true geographic north are identical. This is true from Wisconsin to the Gulf of Mexico. However, the general public is not informed about it and therefore think rather of something mysterious with the case of erratic compasses. Another factor is the Gulf Stream, which is driven by the thermohaline circulation flowing through the Straits of Florida in the direction of the North Atlantic. It is a river within the ocean, so to speak, and it carries floating objects, so a stranded plane or ship can be swept away by the current of about 2 miles a second. Moreover, human error may be the cause of totally exaggerated explanations, even where they have been cited and official investigations have been conducted. This example is linked to the case of businessman Harvey Conover when he lost his sailing yacht Renovok while sailing during a storm in 1958 off South Florida. In relationship to the previous point, hurricanes are one of the most violent forms of weather that can occur in tropical waters. Throughout history, there have been cases of human and material losses. For example, the sinking of the Spanish fleet of Francisco de Bobadilla in 1502 was the first recorded case of this type. Previously, Before the advent of satellites, many ships had no information about upcoming hurricanes, and when crossing the Bermuda Triangle, they were destroyed without warning. A latest scientific theory suggests that methane hydrates are the cause of the disappearance of many ships, being corroborated by an experiment conducted in a laboratory in Australia that the bubbles generated from natural gas can sink a scale model ship when the density of the water drops. In addition, it is hypothesized that frequent methane eruptions make the water foamy in some regions and become non-floatable zones for ships, which can cause instantaneous sinking. Despite the passing years, decades and centuries, the Bermuda Triangle is a symbol of mystery and skepticism for many people who, in the same way, seek an explanation to the events that occurred in this place. There are so many records, explanations, reports and mysteries that the only thing we can be aware of is that the Bermuda Triangle is a symbol that attracts anyone, whether to give a new supernatural or scientific theory. But what we cannot change and must accept is that it has trapped experts of any field in its enigmatic waters. And you, what do you think about the Bermuda Triangle?